So what is happening is I am creating chemicals within my own body because of this jealousy. And that chemicals that I'm creating within my own body body because of this jealousy, and that chemicals that I'm creating within my own body is not affecting Dr. Krishnan even 1%. It is affecting me. These are chemicals which is making my heart go fast. And today in the Western nation, every 2 minutes somebody dies because of what is known as sudden cardiac death, where their heart goes. Normally your heart will go at 60, 70 beats per minute. You run up the stairs, it will go at 100 beats per minute. You run an Olympic, it will go as 110 beats per minute. You go and play cricket with your son or daughter, or football with them, it will go at 110 beats per minute. But it will never go at 200 or 250 beats per minute. But there are millions of people who die in seconds because their heart goes 250 beats per minute. That is because this thing that I was talking about, in modern society, everything has become like a competition. Dr. Krishnan has got a better practice like me. Janji is doing better than me. X and YZ has got a Mercedes and I don't have. This guy has got a bigger building than I don't have. This guy is in Dubai and I am sitting somewhere else. Everything in human being, every reaction in human being is unfortunately channeled towards stress. And now we have come to understand this, which our rishis have understood 10,000 years back, but we as scientists have not understood that. So, whatever your reaction is, it is translated inside the body into three different things. Just three different things. One is, number one, everything's become stress. Now, some stress is good. You're the person who's going to decide how the next Mars mission India is going to take. So, a little stress is good because you're doing a great job. Or you're the person who's going to decide how India is going to create the next ballistic missile. Stress is good because that stress will increase your production. That is called normal stress. That is good for every human being. That is good for even children, because when children give their exam, they need to produce 100%. This stress will help them to produce their 100%. Then comes distress. Distress means you have a problem today. That problem should go away, but when the problem goes away, your stress still continues. That is called distress. It might continue for a day, it might continue for a week, it may continue for a month, it may continue for years. And that leads to different diseases, and we'll talk about it, like high blood pressure, diabetes mellitus. Your brain gets damaged. And that's why by the time you're 80 years old, you forget your son's name, you forget where you had a house, you forget where you lived, you have complete memory loss. And in Western countries, almost as 35% people above 80 years old, that's why they languish in nursing homes, because they don't know who they are, they don't know where they live, they don't know if they have a house, they don't know if they had a wife, they don't know who their son or daughter is. They are completely lost. Some of them don't even know their own names. So it is important to understand that why this is happening. This is all because of stress. Because it's like this: you have a bank and you have put money. So till the end of your life, whatever money you put, you are going to take that money. If your money is finished, then you can kick the ATM, you can break the bank, but money will not come to you until if you finish all your saving. So remember this: you are saving all the neurons in your brain, which is more than 1 billion neurons, every till you're 25 years of age. So all of you that I'm seeing here, at least in front of me, are more than 25, 30, I think. There may be young people otherwise. So all of them are now eating from your savings. And every day, when you have absolutely no stress, you're living heavenly life. You're still losing 300 to 400 neurons So that by the time you are 80, you have lost a large number of neurons. And believe me, if we do CT scan of your brain from when you are 10 for every decade, 20, 30, 40, till you're 80, 90, by the time you're 70, 80, the size of your brain, which is a nice, beautiful brain when you're 10, 15, 20, 30, becomes small like a monkey's brain. Why? Because you're losing. Now, this is normal. This is a person who has absolutely no stress. Now, when you start having stress, this number is increased to a large extent. And that's why by the time you're 60, you start having a monkey's brain. So, what do you expect? You are going to forget where your keys are. When you park your car in a parking where there are tons of cars, you'll forget where your car is. You'll forget where you kept your keys. And this will progress till you come to a stage when it is more dangerous, when you forget who you are. So this destruction that is happening of your body is systematic because of stress. So this is called distress, where stress goes off slowly but takes months or weeks or years to go off. Then comes the toxic stress, and that is what kills. Toxic stress is stress that is always there. And that stress is the most dangerous part of the stress, because that does is that starts eroding the body. So there are people who are 60 years of age, instead of looking 40, they look like they are 80 years of age because their body has been devastated by stress. So it is important to understand this philosophy that Patanjali pointed out 10,000 years back, and we have given it a scientific name. We have just changed nothing. We have just given it a bunch of scientific names. So this stress, the toxic stress, is actually responsible for damaging your body. As time passes, you're damaging your brain, you're damaging your heart, so that your heart progressively, you have your blood vessel getting blocked, getting heart attacks. You have a heart attack today, you have bypass surgery, you have stenting put in. Remember, they don't cure the disease. Stents just gives you a newer life and brings down your symptom. Bypass gives you a newer life, brings down your symptom. You'll have another bypass in 10, 15 years if you continue your stress. You'll have another stenting. And this first time you have bypass, your chance of dying is almost very little, because science has developed a lot. But the second time you have bypass, your chance of dying increases. The third time you have bypass, your chance of dying increases almost 2 to 3 times. Because so if you do not control the stress, if you do not control your body, there is no way you can get out of the disease. And that is true not only for dementia, not only for strokes, not only for heart disease, even for cancer. In most of the developed countries, including in most of the Gulf countries where the quality of life is good, most people die because of heart disease and cancer. Even in India, that's going to happen. India is slowly moving to become a developed country. Most of the death is coming from heart disease and cancers. And it's going to get worse day by day until we go back to our ancient system of protecting ourselves using yoga. Though it is still a controversy, but almost 50 to 60% of oncologists, that is the cancer specialists and molecular scientists, believe stress plays a big role even in starting cancer. Though there is some controversy, some people believe it may not be. But there are certain cancers which do come from stress. But there is no controversy in one thing. If you have cancer and you have stress, your chance of dying is much, much higher, and your chance of cancer spread is much, much higher than a person with similar cancer, even stage 4 cancer, who does not have stress. So, stress actually is like something that takes part and damages and devastates you in every square of life. Take the present epidemic, COVID. In COVID, what is happening? In COVID, you are locked down. So you develop anxiety, depression. Some people develop panic disorder. What happens if I die out of COVID? What will happen to my son? He's still a kid. What will happen to my daughter? She just started her college. So what is happening to my family? So they get panic disorder. So what happens when you have anxiety, depression, and panic disorder? Your chance of COVID increases. Had you not had any one of the three, your chance of COVID is way lesser than when you have all these three. So when you have all these three and you practice yoga, you not only oppose the development of anxiety, depression, and stress, but you actually make yourself stronger to treat COVID. I don't want to go into the deeper science, but basically, all the body's immunological reaction that prevents you from getting COVID is increased to multiple extent. So you are actually making your body much more fitter, and chance of COVID is way lesser. But COVID is a powerful virus. Suppose you still get COVID, then what happens? Will yoga protect you? Now, for understanding that, first let's understand what happens when somebody dies of COVID. It is important to understand that nobody till death has died of COVID, the virus itself. Yes, I repeat, if this is a shock to you, let me repeat that again. Till today, nobody died because of the virus. All the hundreds and thousands of deaths that you have seen is because of the body itself. Reaction. So what happens is this is a very infective virus. It gets into the body, it suppresses your immune system, and the body is fooled till it completely enslaves the blood cells, the cells in your body, including the lung cells, some cells in the heart. And then when body realizes, body releases dangerous chemicals like interleukin 6, interleukin 8, interleukin 10. And these chemicals causes devastation. These chemicals are released in the body not to kill the body, but to kill the virus. So if you're in India, you have mosquito bites. I don't know if there are mosquitoes in UAE. Unfortunately, in America, there's not much of mosquitoes. So you have a mosquito bite and you get India's most powerful tank, the Arjun M90 battle tank, to kill the mosquito. So who will die first, you or the mosquito? Same thing happens in COVID. The body brings in tanks to kill the virus. So unfortunately, though the virus gets killed, but you get killed too. Now, we are just starting to try out drugs like tocilizumab, which prevents the release of interleukin 6. We are just trying those drugs. It's a bunch of new drugs, and we just started trials. And some of the drugs have shown success in America. And most of those drugs are still not available, I know, at least in UAE and other countries. But it just got available in Germany and very few countries now, still not available in India. But remember, you need these drugs in India because you are treating yourself like the broken Toyota. 10 to 15 years back, there have been a bunch of trials. And again, these trials are not by Indians. These are by Americans who don't understand yoga, who are not Hindus, who don't understand the philosophy. Just by research, they have shown that 8 to 9 weeks of yoga practice helps to modulate your immunity so that you will decrease the release of interleukin 6. So, my friend, if you treat your body, which God or nature, or it doesn't matter whatever religion you are, whatever you are, which has given you, whether you believe in God or not, it doesn't matter, has given you, if you treat your body to be a poor body, you're useless and like a broken car, the fault is yours. There are multiple experiments with randomized clinical trials. So let me explain what randomized clinical trial is. Randomized clinical trial is where people are taken in a trial, where the trial people are themselves, like suppose I do a trial. If I do a trial on yoga, that would not be good. Why would that not be good? It will not be good, not because I'm not trained, not because I don't know about yoga, not because I'm not trained in Western medicine. It is because that I believe in yoga. So in medicine, you cannot have what is called bias. So just like people like me or Dr. Satish Krishnan cannot be a good trial investigator. To be a good trial investigator, you should be somebody who does not know yoga, who does not understand or accept the benefit of yoga, who takes it with a grain of salt. So these are Americans or Germans or who are like that. And they did research on people with yoga and they showed benefit, then you know that you have to be 100% scientific. When you meditate, the age of your cell decreases. There's something called telomeres. As you age, your telomere becomes shorter and shorter. But if you remains longer, she got the Nobel Prize for that. And that telomere is, as I said, I'm a professor at cardiology at AIMS Rishikesh. At Rishikesh, the Dev Bhumi, or the Valley of the Gods, I've seen many people. You won't even believe it when they tell you I'm 90 years old, because they don't even look, they are 50 years old. They have video-like memory. They can tell you what happened 25 years back, just like a video memory. So I used to think, being a Hindu, believing in yoga, I used to think this is a miracle. It is a miracle, but it is a miracle which is based in science now. So in 2010, Sarah Laser from Harvard, she was my colleague. There was a time when I used to work at Mass General Hospital. I actually trained at Mass General Hospital at Harvard Medical School in research. She showed for the first time that if you meditate for 5 years, your brain can grow by 1 inch. Today, as I said, after 25 years old, you are only using all the neurons you have. So by the age of 80, 90, you might be forgetting what your son's name is or your daughter's name is, where you lived. I'm not trying to scare you. That is the truth. Today, 30 to 35% of Americans at that age live in nursing home because they have severe dementia. There is no medicine. There are 3 medicines to treat dementia. All of them are as good as useless. But you have yoga, which actually not only prevents you from dementia, decreases your cell death, but actually makes you grow your brain. Till 20 years back, or almost 15 years back, we didn't even know that brain grew. We thought, modern science believed, that brain had no way to grow. Once you're 25, 30, you're done. After that, it only dies. There's no growth. Now we know your brain actually grow, and yoga and meditation can make your brain grow. Let me bring that point here also, and that is very important to understand. Rajesh Kotecha brought about that. I don't know about UAE, and that's been our fight, the rest of the country, in the rest of the world. And unfortunately, some of the Indians also believe that. Yoga is not just doing postures or asanas. Patanjali did not want you to be expert acrobats. He did not want you to be in some circus where you can show how much you can bend your legs or bend your neck or stand on your head. That is not what yoga is. It doesn't matter how good you're doing your postures. Yeah, you have to do appropriate postures, no worries. There's no doubt about this. But yoga is not meant to make you an acrobat. You're not taking being a joker in a circus as your future career. So yoga is only 2 to 3%, maybe 5% asanas or postures. It is 95% meditation. And that is why the philosophy is very important to understand. Devoid of philosophy, I personally think there may be controversies. It is just little better than going to your gym and doing some exercise. It's little better, but not grossly better. But when you combine the entire philosophy, when you understand the philosophy, when you understand the meditation part of it, that is when you practice 100% of yoga. If you are spending 20 minutes like going to a gym, you say, okay, 5 o'clock, I do yoga. So you cannot do yoga at 5 o'clock, because 5 o'clock you can go to the gym. Yoga is a change in lifestyle. Yoga is a philosophy. So you don't do yoga. Again, I repeat, you don't do yoga, you're in yoga. 24/7, 365, you're in yoga. You eat yoga, you sleep yoga, you live yoga, but you don't do yoga because there's nothing else but yoga. That is what the philosophy is. Now let's understand the damage that stress does, because now we know, and that's what I say, in the next 10, 15 years, already 2 to 3 Nobel Prize has indirectly proved a lot of concepts we have in yoga. Like, for example, we do fasting. You know, a Japanese got Nobel Prize in 2016 for intermittent fasting. So fasting has been a ritual for hundreds of years. I have a lot of people, when I give talks to so-called intelligent people in India, in IITs, and they tell me, oh, it's a ritual that you do fasting. Oh, it's a ritual. Yes, it is a ritual because we are fools. We Indians have replaced the science that we discovered